I walked in with a dozen red roses like a fool who still believes in holidays. I didn't even take off my jacket, just stepped into the kitchen and held them out. She glanced up from her phone. Put them by the trash, Jenna said. I'll toss them tomorrow. The flowers sagged in my hand. I set them on the counter next to the bin. If I'd known where this was headed, I wouldn't have wasted the ribbon. If something's wrong, say it. I tried. I'm not a mind reader. Not everything is about you, Mark. She slid her phone into her back pocket and moved past me to the fridge. I'm going out. The girls are waiting again. Don't start. You don't own my evenings. She brushed past, perfume strong, and the front door clicked shut. The roses leaned into the trash can like they were ready to jump. If I'd known what she was building behind my back, I would have stopped trying to fix a house that was already empty. The next evening, I beat her home and cooked a basic dinner. Chicken, salad, nothing fancy. When she came in, the plate sat where her chair used to feel like home. She shrugged her purse off like she was in a hotel lobby. We need 5 minutes, I said. No speeches. Just where are we? Where are we? She dropped into her seat, didn't touch the fork. We're two people with different needs. What are yours? To not be managed. Her eyes flicked toward the table. Is that supposed to make us okay, chicken? It's supposed to make us eat, I said. You've been distant for weeks. Distant? She snorted. Because I don't want to watch you fold laundry on a Friday night because you barely make eye contact. Maybe I'm tired of being interviewed after work. Maybe I want friends. Maybe you could try not being heavy. I kept my voice even. I don't care about your happy hour. I care about respect. She checked her phone. Maya and Tasha are at the bar down the street. I'm going. I slid my chair back slow. I'm done being your ride. I'm not waiting up and I'm not rearranging my Saturday to chase your hangover. From now on, my weekend mornings are mine. Gym at 7 o'clock. Hardware store after. If you want to join me for breakfast, it's 9 sharp or not at all. Her mouth parted. Are you serious? I'm serious. I wiped my hands on a towel and we're pausing our Sunday couples brunches. One-on-one only for a while. If we can't talk, we don't need an audience. She laughed without humor. Control dressed up as concern. Classic. Call it a boundary. I said, I'm not doing these weird Cold Wars in front of people. She stood, grabbed her purse. You can set all the rules you want. I'm not your intern. Then don't act like one who hates her project, I said, and she pushed out the door. I rinsed my plate. Her phone buzzed where she'd left it on the table. A preview flashed. Group chat. Maya, did you get the papers started? Tasha, time's ticking, girl. My hand hovered, but I didn't touch it. I wasn't going to be that guy. I turned the screen face down and finished the dishes. The next morning, she was sunshine for exactly 3 minutes. Coffee. She handed me a mug and kissed my cheek like a politician. I was harsh yesterday. Sorry. Work stress. Thanks, I said. You know, I appreciate you. She angled for eye contact. Let's try not to be weird. I sipped. I'm fine with not being weird. Good. She took the mug back. Can I have your card? I want to book a spa day. It'll help. Join expenses only, I said. I moved our fun money to 2 separate accounts this morning. Mine covers my hobbies and gifts I choose. Yours covers yours. Her smile went flat. You did what? Without asking. Not asking. Informing mortgage and utilities stay on the joint account. The rest is separate until we can rebuild trust. So now I need permission to feel good for 2 hours. No, I said you need to pay for it with your money like I do with my gym, my truck, and my life. She put the mug down hard and walked away. That night was a neighbor barbecue at Evan's place. Jenna drifted in with Maya and Tasha, all big smiles and clinking glasses. I was at the grill with Evan. She's been out a lot, Evan murmured, flipping burgers. You too good. We'll be fine, I said. Or we won't. Jenna wandered over, eyebrows up. Hey, chef, try not to burn it this time. Last time you ate 3, I said. Tasha smirked. She was being polite. Polite as new, I said. I must have missed the memo. Maya nudged Jenna. So, did you tell him about your big decision? Jenna shot her a tiny look. Not tonight. Tell me what I asked. Relax, Jenna said lightly. Girl, talk. I set the tongs down. You make jokes about me. You do it where I can answer. Answer what? You're sensitive about meat now. She laughed loud enough for a couple of neighbors to glance over. Respect, I said. Same word as at home. Evan cleared his throat. Food's ready, he announced. Everyone moved. Jenna rolled her eyes and floated back to her crew under the string lights. She leaned into every story that made me look small. My missed call became me being needy. My Saturday gym became midlife crisis. She stacked it with timing that said this was rehearsed. When she circled back for a plate, I stood. I'm not a prop. I told her low. Cut it out. Or what? You'll schedule my laughter, too. No. I said, I'll leave. I'll leave any room where I'm being chipped at. You can explain why. She stared like she was trying to decide if I was bluffing. Then she shook her head, smirking, and turned back to her friends. I set down my plastic fork and nodded at Evan. Thanks for hosting. I'm heading out. He squeezed my shoulder. You do what you need. As I walked away, I heard Maya murmur, you're pushing too fast. And Jenna answer, he's slow. At home, I moved the rest of my cash out of the joint account and into my separate one. Mortgage stayed funded. Everything else? No. I printed a simple budget sheet and taped it inside the pantry door. Shared essentials on the left, personal on the right, not a courtroom, just a ledger. Late that night, the front door opened too loud. I didn't look up from the book. She ghosted down the hall without a word. The following afternoon, I swung by the house between meetings to grab a file I'd forgotten. Her car was in the driveway. Inside was quiet until it wasn't. I paused in the hallway. Her voice drifted from the bedroom, strained low and excited. A little longer, and I'll take everything from him, she said. It'll be so fun to watch his desperation. My hand found my phone. The recording app opened like it had been waiting. The attorney said, Jenna went on. First, get all his assets in my name. Scare him with divorce. Yes. Yes. Will you help me? I recorded that part. My ears rang anyway. I leaned on the door frame and stared at my work boots like they belonged to someone else. The laughter on the line wasn't hers. It had a sharper edge. Someone enjoying a show. I walked in like I hadn't heard a thing. Didn't think you'd be home. She didn't drop the call. She didn't even change her tone. She just smiled like a cat. Busy day, she said. You want pasta tonight or should I order something? I set my file folder on the dresser and watched her into the phone. She said, I'll handle it. Timing matters, then hung up slowly. Who was that? I asked. Insurance, she said. Updating beneficiaries takes forever. Good, I said. Maybe they'll take as long as your patience. She chuckled and slid past me. I walked to the garage and sat on the step until my pulse stopped pounding. Then, I played the recording twice in the quiet. The words didn't change. The tone didn't soften. No context twisted it into a joke. I sent the file to my laptop, saved it with the date, and drove back to work with a simple plan forming. I wasn't giving her a target to stab at. I was giving her a clean exit and my respect back. The next morning, I booked an appointment with a local attorney. He looked like he could lift a refrigerator and his name was Daniel. His office smelled like legal pads and coffee. What are you trying to do? He asked. No small talk. End it without drama, I said and put my phone on the table. I also want to keep what's mine. There's a recording you should hear. He listened, face neutral, then played the last 20 seconds again. "You're calm," he said. "That's rare." "I'm not calm," I said. "I'm contained." He nodded. "Here's the plan. You keep acting normal. You don't tip your hand. I'll prepare the papers. When she tries to spring her move, you answer with this." He tapped the folder he'd started. "Hold your line. No mud, no speeches. I moved our discretionary money to separate accounts," I told him. "Mortgage and bills funded. The rest is off the table." "Good," he said. "Don't starve the house. Judges hate that. Keep everything ordinary to the extent possible. Document, but don't provoke. And send me that recording." I dropped it into his inbox. He listened one more time, leaned back. "That clip," Daniel said, "kills any claim that you're coercing or hiding. Keep your cool and you're fine. Fine enough that she ends up with nothing." I asked and he didn't blink. "Fine enough that her strategy collapses. Don't get petty. Don't get theatrical. Get clear." Back home, I cooked dinner and asked about her day. She looked at me the way a cat watches a bug. "You're in a good mood," she said. Maybe I remembered I like myself. I said. Her smile thinned. "Maya says you moved money. Separate fund budgets." I said. "House is paid. You want a manicure? Use your account like I use mine." Let me pause the story for just a second. If you're still listening, please hit the like button on this video. It really helps YouTube show this story to more people. Thank you so much for the support. Now, let's get back to the story. She laughed. "You think you can starve me off?" "Nobody's starving," I said. "I just stopped paying for jokes about me." 2 days later, she pivoted. She made breakfast unasked, left a sticky note on the coffee machine. "Sorry for being edgy. Dinner tonight, just us." I almost believed it. I even ironed a shirt. At the restaurant, she took my hand between hers. "I don't want to fight," she said. "I want us back." I watched her. "Us back means you stop using me as a punchline." "I know," she said. "I was mean. I'm sorry." The words sounded new in her mouth. She brushed a crumb off my sleeve. "Come meet the girls after. Quick drink. Show them we're good." I waited. "1 drink," I said. "Then home." At the bar, the girls were sugared knives. Maya hugged me too long. Tasha squeezed my arm like she was measuring me for a box. So Maya saying, "We were telling Jenna she should feel safe, like legally safe." Tasha nodded. "It's standard now. You love her, right? Put the house in both names." "She's so anxious." "Is she?" I said. Jenna smiled like a hostess. "We can talk later." "I prefer now," I said. "Why are your friends involved in our deed?" Maya laughed. "Because Jin has been scared. You run the accounts. You could change locks." "Locks are cheap," I said. "Respect is expensive." I stood. 1 drink then home. That's what I said. On the walk to the truck, Jenna linked her arm through mine with exaggerated sweetness. "Don't make this hard," she whispered. "You'll make me think you have something to hide." "I have nothing to hide," I said. "Which is why I'm not signing things under pressure." "Pressure?" She feigned surprise. "I thought we were a team." "Teams don't hold ambush meetings," I said. She dropped my arm and stared out at the parking lot lights. "I'm tired," she said. "Let's go home." I drove in silence. She watched me like she was trying to find the zipper in my skin. The next morning, Daniel called. "Papers are ready," he said. "You want to serve them or you want me to handle it?" "I'll do it," I said. "I want a clean line." He explained the next steps in simple terms. "Stay ordinary," he said again. "No big moves. She'll make one. You answer." By then, I was sleeping in the guest room. I didn't announce it. I just moved my clothes and set an alarm for 5. I was at the gym when the morning still felt like it belonged to decent men. A day later, she tried supportive. She showed up at my job with a paper bag lunch and a syrupy smile. My coworker Sean, who runs the warehouse schedules, raised an eyebrow. "Your wife's here," he said. Jenna handed me the bag. "Turkey sandwich. I thought of you." "That's new," I said, then took it. "Thanks." She glanced around the loading dock. "Do you have a second?" In front of Sean. "Sure," I said. "He keeps me honest." Sean grunted. "I cannot listen while still hearing everything. It's my gift." Jenna kept her voice soft. "Are we okay?" "I hate feeling unstable." "We're okay enough to be civil." I said, "What do you need?" "Reassurance." She squeezed the strap of her purse. "That you're not going to blindside me. That our home is safe. Our home is paid." I said, "That's what safe looks like." She tried a new angle. Maya said, "You've been talking to someone like official." "I talk to people every day." I said, "It's how adults solve problems." Her eyes sharpened. "So, you did move money and talk to someone. What are you planning?" Sean coughed, pretending to read a clipboard. "I'm planning to be treated like a man in his home," I said. "That's the whole plan." She smiled the way you do before a card trick. "Good. Then you won't mind a couple of signatures later." "Housekeeping." "Text me what you want," I said. "I don't sign anything without reading it." A flare of annoyance slipped through. "So now you're cautious." "Cute." "Always have been," I said. "I just wasn't using it." She left with a hug that was mostly theater. Sean watched her go. "You good?" he asked. "I'm tired of being played," I said. "Then stop letting her shuffle the deck," he said. Simple. That night, I came home to a tidy kitchen and a lemon candle burning like innocence. A folder sat on the table. Jenna popped out from the hallway with a smile. "Let's talk after you shower," she said. "You look tired." I showered because sweat is not a personality. When I came back, the folder had friends attached. Maya and Tasha sat at the table. With wine. Their smiles were too white. "Mildly crowded," I said. "Should I get more chairs?" "Sit," Jenna purred. "We need to talk." I sat. Maya and Tasha leaned in predatory polite. "I've been anxious," Jenna began in a voice people use for grief and charity. "I don't feel protected in our marriage. Everything big is in your name. If you decided to push me out, I'd have nothing. You don't want that for me." Maya nodded. "Any decent husband would want his wife safe." Tasha added, "This is simple. A quick deed transfer on the house. It's fair. You're a reasonable guy." I looked at the folder. Neatly printed forms, flags, tabs to sign. Somebody had spent time on this. "Why now?" I asked, even though I knew. Jenna reached for my hand. I let her miss. "Because I can't live with this fear. Sign the transfer tonight so I can relax." "And if I don't?" I asked. She held my gaze and softened her voice further. "Then I go to an attorney." "I don't want that, but I'll do what I have to do." Maya cut in. "Too bright. This is better for both of you. No drama, just fairness." Tasha smiled at me like I was a child at a dentist. "Think of it as a gift. You love her. Show it." "Let me play devil's advocate," I said. "If you're committed to us, why does the house need to be in your name?" Jenna's mask slipped for a second. "Because I need leverage." There it was. Plain, honest by accident. Maya jumped in. "She means peace of mind." She said, "Leverage." I said, "Words matter." Jenna stared calculating. "You're twisting." "I heard you very clearly." I said, "In fact, I've heard a lot of things clearly lately." She blinked, thrown for half a second, then regrouped. "This is getting hostile. I thought you were decent." "I am," I said. "That's the problem. Decent makes easy prey for people who confuse kindness with stupidity." Tasha leaned forward. You're not special. Lots of men do this. It's standard. Standard is not my goal. I said integrity is. Ma's patience cracked. Just sign or we help Jenna get what's fair in a divorce. In a divorce, I echoed. As you wish. I reached into the messenger bag I'd set by the chair when I came in. The folder I pulled out was thinner than theirs and heavier. I placed it on the table, slid it toward Jenna, and flipped the top page with one finger. It's already signed, I said. I filed this morning. The room shifted like someone opened a window in January. Smiles fell off faces. Jenna's voice lost its honey. You did what? Divorce, I said. You kept threatening it. I did you the courtesy of finishing your sentence. Ma's chair scraped. You blindsided her. No, I said. I reacted to weeks of disrespect, public jokes, and a call I won't quote in front of your friends, but if you'd like, we can play it. I recorded the last part. It's tidy. Tasha looked from me to Jenna. What call? Jenna's cheeks flushed. He's lying. I'll forward the file to Daniel and copy you, I said smoothly. Everything stays clean and inside the law. But for now, you and your friends have 10 minutes to help you pack a weekend bag and leave my home. I'll have your family pick up the rest. Anything in this house I purchase stays put unless my attorney says otherwise. Maya burst out. You can't do that. I just did, I said. And I mean it. You can leave calm or leave loud. Either way, you leave. Tasha stood bristling. You're heartless. No, I said again. I'm done tolerating games. You three rehearsed this. So did I. Jenna's voice rose. You'll regret this. I stood, collected the pen from their forms, and clicked it closed. Maybe you'll regret it sooner. She lunged for the papers I brought. I put a palm down gently. Do not tear those, I said. That's destruction of property. Not a smart move today. Fine, she hissed. You want me gone? I'll go. But you won't like life without me. Life without contempt. I picked up the folder and walked to the doorway, holding it against my side. I'll risk it. The three of them retreated to the bedroom. Drawers opened and shut. Zippers hissed. I stood in the hall and watched the clock. 10 minutes to the second, I opened the front door. Time. I said, Jenna's things will be boxed and inventoried through a third party. There's no reason for you to come back. She stopped in the doorway, eyes wide with fury and panic. You can't throw me out of my own home. It's my home, I said quiet. That's what this talk was about, remember? Leverage. You don't have it. She pointed a trembling finger at me. I will ruin you. You already tried, I said. It didn't take. Maya dragged her toward the porch. Tasha followed with a bag. I closed the door when they hit the walkway. The house exhaled. I made a sandwich at the counter where the roses had died and sat on the stool, feeling something that wasn't triumph, more like quiet after a siren. My phone lit up for an hour with calls from numbers I knew and didn't. I put it face down and ate. The next week was silence, not complete. There were noises at the edge. A message from an unknown number asking for a meeting. A text from her cousin asking what happened. A knock one evening that I ignored. Daniel filed what needed to be filed. He told me to keep living like a man who expects to be checked for mistakes. 7 days in, Jenna waited outside my workplace, leaning on the hood of her friend's car like a postcard. She ran to me when I got out, tears immediate. Please, she said, reaching for me. I love you. I made a stupid mistake. I listened to bad advice. I was scared. Don't do this. We can fix it. I set my lunchbox on the roof, looked at her, then at the little knot of guys by the loading door pretending not to watch. You don't love me, I said calm. You love a plan. Her breath hitched. I swear. You swear a lot, I said. It never turns into actions. I'll be better, she pleaded. I'll do counseling. I'll cut them off. I'll know, she clutched at my sleeve. I can't live without you. You'll have to try. She blinked, then crumpled into something uglier. You're cruel. You think you're strong. You'll end up alone. Being alone is not the worst thing that can happen to a man, I said. Losing himself is. She fired one last volley of names and promises. I opened the building door and stepped through, letting it close on the noise. Inside, Sean whistled low. That line, he said. You'll have to try. That's one for the wallet. Not trying to win, I said. Just trying to stop losing. The divorce was clean because I kept it clean. The recording did what Daniel said it would do. Paper spoke louder than tears. She didn't get the house. She didn't get my accounts. She didn't get a key, the items I bought for her, clothes, bags, all the trinkets she'd wanted when we were good and I was blind. I boxed them and took them to a local shelter. A volunteer asked if I needed a receipt. I told her no, I needed space. I changed the locks after the final order came through. I painted the hall because I could. I bought a used motorcycle and a better toolbox because nothing fixes a mind like taking something apart with your hands. My Saturdays looked like me again. Gym at 7, decent pancakes at 9, and a trip to the shop where they know your name without asking you to explain yourself. I didn't broadcast any of it. People notice when you stop explaining. 2 months later, I met Lauren at a friend's cookout. She's a physician assistant with a laugh that doesn't ask permission. We took it slow because that's what grown men do after lessons. We built something steady. A backyard fire on a Friday. A long drive out past the river on Sunday. Dinners where nobody keeps score. She knows the story. She respects the boundary where stories end and fresh starts begin. As for Jenna, I didn't see her again. Word travels through people with time to kill. She hopped couches. She tried to open a line through a cousin and got a quiet no from me. She posted a few things online that made her look powerful to people who don't read carefully. Then she disappeared into the background hum like any noise you stop. Feeding. Sometimes I think about the roses by the trash. It's funny what sticks. Not the legalities, not even the recording. The moment a person tells you where you sit in their house, right by the bin, any to throw away. So I did the adult thing. I took myself out of the trash corner and put myself back at the table. I set rules I should have set at the start. I didn't raise my voice. I didn't throw anything. I didn't ask her to understand me. I asked her to leave. And when the door closed, the silence felt like respect. I got my life back. House quiet. Bank stable. A woman who looks me in the eye and doesn't test fences. Friends who come over to fix a fence instead of test one. Work that pays because I show up on time and get it done. A truck that starts a dog from the shelter that thinks I hung the moon since I hung his leash by the back door. What she kept from me in the end was exactly nothing. What I kept from her was my dignity. That's not leverage. That's the whole game. If someone asked me what I learned, I'd say it in one line. Kind isn't weak, but it can be blind. When kindness meets contempt, you don't argue. You close your hand around the pen, you sign the right papers, and you walk away like a man. That's it. That's all. And if you ever bring home roses in here, put them by the trash. Don't argue. Listen, the sentence is already the plan. Our story has come to an end. If you've made it this far, how about subscribing to our channel? It helps us immensely. I'll be waiting for you in the next story. See you soon.